From Pressure Washing Pro to YouTube Guru, we've got a special guest on the show today. We're going to unpack a lot of stories with Austin Davis today. If you don't know who he is freaking sick, and he's going to unpack everything from his first job to when he knew, I've actually got a business here that's making some money, how that shifted his thinking on into even a little bit of the coaching side and how to handle coaching and when things aren't going your way or people aren't doing it. How do you sleep at night with that?
Yeah. And I think one of his giftings, Brady, is he has the ability to work with anyone that is on a low budget or just starting from scratch. And he has the ability to guide them to when to leave their job and how long to stay at their job before they end up making bad decisions because they watched a YouTube video of somebody making, $1 million a year and they think, hey, I should leave it. And so
Go do that right now.
So Austin Davis has 600 clients inside of his coaching program, which is amazing. And then he also has a Facebook channel that has 80,000 members inside of it. 80,000 members.
That's a lot of people, man.
And so he's heard the different stories. He hears how people cry, whine, complain, quit the business. And today you're going to have a front row seat on hearing how he thinks and how he coaches as it relates to pressure washing and purpose. Yeah. And without further ado, let's head to the show. Austin, what is up, my friend?
What up, my dude?
What about you guys? We're good. Austin, Texas. Hook 'em horns.
Hey, Longhorns have been playing some good football this season.
Yes, sir. We're number
it's
one, baby.
Your color orange, honestly, but I mean, hey, it's all right.
University of Tennessee is the same thing.
Oh no, a bright, beautiful orange. Y'all got that dank.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's burnt. I'm sorry, I forgot. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to disagree with Brady here. I know he's a UT
That's
fan.
because he's a Notre Dame fan, and
But I love Texas Longhorn. You got Matthew McConaughey. Come on.
That does make me mad.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
All right. Yeah.
The same thing.
Austin, we want to thank you for being a guest on our show. We've been inside this purpose-driven conversation for maybe about 2.5 months now, where I've been just bringing guests on, and we've been talking about how to be a purpose-driven pressure washing business. And we're in a new series now where we're talking about how to become a profitable pressure washing business. And so what I want to do is I'm assuming you've probably watched some baseball over the course of your time there in Texas. Is there a team that you pull for or not a baseball fan?
To be honest, I'm not a baseball fan. Couldn't
All right,
care less about baseball.
I like the honesty. I think some people just say yes for the sake of the question.
No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah.
Not me. I hate baseball.
So
Basketball, football, yeah.
So is Colt McCoy the greatest college football quarterback of all time?
No, I wouldn't say that. Although I remember when I was a kid, I went to a UT game. I got him to sign the back of my debit card. That's the only thing I had. Yeah, but my first ever debit card, by the way. But yeah,
you still have it?
No, I don't. I grew up with Vince Young and watched him play. And funny enough, he goes to my gym that I'm a part of, Time Fitness, and we play basketball together all the time.
He's up there?
Yeah, he's all in the community. He's on the Wendy's commercials. He's got Vince Young Steakhouse downtown. Now he's doing all kinds of stuff around there.
All right, I'm not throwing shade on Vince Young. This is kind of funny. My dad owned a bungee jump and a rope challenge course here in Nashville, Tennessee. Both of them were in the Opry Mills Mall, which is right beside Opryland where the huge convention is. And Vince Young came in there one day. And the worker that was there at the rope challenge course didn't know who he was. And so when he came up and his kid wanted to go on the rope challenge, he charged him. He's like, bro, you're going to charge me, dude? Because he's the quarterback of the Titans at the time. He's like,
yeah, he was the Titans. Yeah.
He's like, yeah. He
wasn't really that relevant. He's a UT legend, but NFL, unfortunately, just a couple mishaps didn't work out for him. But,
he had some good highlights, but I don't think it was longevity.
Speaking of highlights, I want to take a second and segue to the content of our show today. And I want you to imagine that Colt or Vince is throwing you a pass. And I want to find out if you're going to catch it or drop it. So here's the question: purpose or profits? Which has been more challenging over the course of your pressure washing business?
I guess I might need you to elaborate on that.
I love that. I love that, yeah. Austin. When we think about profits, we're thinking about income over time, like the amount of money that you've brought in through growing your business. And then when we think about being a purpose driven, think about impact. And so I want you to almost measure, am I making more impact with my business or am I making more income, which has been more challenging for me over the years?
Well, I mean, I guess I don't want to tell you the answer. The correct answer and my answer might be two different things. Obviously, when you start a business, one thing a business needs is income, right? So, I mean, that's obviously been a heavy focus on that. But as we kind of shift into how employees over the years and going through employees, I'm starting to learn more and more the importance of purpose and the other side of culture and having a community and a family. And we've gone through some employees over the last couple of months, and those have been some rising issues that we're dealing with. And so I would say it's a delicate dance on that. As far as what do we struggle with, that was your question there. I mean, probably purpose. I mean, we want to go out there and provide a great service for our customers. We want the company to make money. We want our employees to make great money. And we've even switched their pay systems of pay. That way they're incentivized to make more money, right? And that way they feel more valued. They feel like they're a part of the company, not just work for the company. So, but it depends what you mean by purpose too. I mean, I guess you can get into that.
I think you nailed the description right there.
Yeah, I think you're processing right. We're not looking for a right or wrong answer. We're looking for your answer. And so I want to share, since you asked, when we think about purpose, it's something that I wake up every day that's more satisfying than money. It's something you can't pay for. It's something that you can't be taken away from you. It's like every single day I wake up for this very reason, and it's bigger than the money I make. It's the difference I make inside the lives of others. And so part of leadership is like growing to a place where you're able to cast vision, because who you are is living for something greater than the money that you make. And that's like purpose over profits. But you nailed it. You nailed it. The profitability of the company is kind of dependent upon your ability to cast a vision for purpose, because in today's day and age, great people don't want to work for you to make great money.
Yeah, gosh, that's so true.
Yeah, folks want to wake up each day. They want to make money for themselves, but they want to be a part of a greater story, because we all have watched corporate America destroy our families and our homes of not having time to be able to do things. And so
I feel like you said something really important when you said we've changed around. I think you said the pay structure to make them feel like they're a part of the company versus just working for the company. Like, I can't stand it when people say, and don't shoot me, my employees, like they are your property. I just don't. It just crawls all over me. And making someone feel a part of what you're doing not only gets buy-in for the future, but it makes them feel a lot more satisfied today.
Yeah. And so getting into the profitability, that's actually what we need from you. And so when you look over the course of growing your pressure washing company and your YouTube channel, what are the things that you've noticed that you had to adjust or change over time to grow the profitability of your business?
Well, I think about profitability, like, how do you get more profitable on something? I kind of see it in a couple of different ways, right? I mean, you could have what you have fixed expenses, right? And then you have what you could charge for whatever service or product that you're selling, right? And then it's what it costs to and fulfill that service or product, right? So you can either charge more, right? And we've experienced doing that and trying to figure out what our market can pay for. You could pay your employees less. That's not something that's necessarily on the table for us. But that is a way you could get more profitable, or I should say a business can get more profitable, or being more efficient, right? Being quicker, getting to the service done quicker. You can get, the more you can do in a set amount of time. If you're spending all day out there, like for pressure washing, if we're spending all day out there on a 6-hour job, and it's taking us 8 hours, or, and there's something scheduled after that, and we can't get to that second job, right? Then we're spending too much time out there, right? So, I think just, you asked me what have we learned kind of in terms of profitability in our business, just learning to kind of figure out what our market will pay for, not undercutting the market, charging. I think it's important to charge high, not just charge, don't just, give people a fair deal. That's true. But, I think it's in all of the whole, you should charge premium prices for the service you offer, period. Right. We go out there and we do a great job. We should charge what the top of the market will charge for our services. And be very efficient when doing it. And then outside of that, I mean, there's not too many corners you can kind of cut. I mean, the fixed expenses are what they are,
Hey, we could run the whole business without insurance. We could use other people's cars. 1099 everybody.
I mean, I gotta tell you, like at this point, me and my partner, we don't sit down on the table and say, what do we need to cut, or should we charge more? Or should we pay our guys less? I mean, we've been doing this for like 7 years. It's just like, that is what they are. I mean, if we're talking about changing anything, like an insurance provider that's charging us $1,000 compared to $700, that's pennies in terms of a year-long deal. I'm not too concerned about that. That is what they are. We're gonna, we charge the market. We get those jobs, and our profit margins are healthy. So, we're focused on, how do we get more customers? How do we get customers on contracts, recurring revenue? How do we build that up? How do we build the biggest sellable asset that we can, right? I mean, that's what we're focused on.
I want to take a break from the show to tell you something that we have been working on. It's kind of like the cat out of the bag. It has been a dream for Brady and I to be able to create a store that you can go to and get everything that you need to start and scale a pressure washing company. And so one of the problems that you run into is you don't always know who to trust, who to buy from, what coaching to take, how much to price jobs for, and also getting coaching to continue to grow throughout the year. Well, we've created a one-stop shop called mysoftwashstore.com, where you can get video courses, you can get whatever kind of training that you're needing,
access to relationships we have.
Yeah, different marketing tools that we utilize, from CRMs to nice jobs, different partners. But also it gives you our relationships with our chemicals, our equipment, our supplies. You can order it all right through one spot. And then we also have continual training that we can offer you if you're trying to scale to multiple $1 million inside your own pressure washing company.
Yeah. So the simple thing you need to do is just go visit mysoftwashstore.com, browse around, and click anything you want to.
Yeah, Austin, one thing that you are, in my mind, is you are providing a ton of value through your coaching and through your courses on your YouTube channel. And one of the things that you mentioned a few minutes ago was learning how to sell your products and what to charge. And so would you mind walking me through the different services that you provide or that you coach? And then I'm going to end up asking you questions as we go through that. So would you take me through the list of services that you provide?
Yeah, so we're a full-scale exterior cleaning company. So that's, as you would imagine, pressure washing, window cleaning, gutters, roof cleaning, same stuff that Browns probably does. We're starting to get into Christmas lights this year. And of course, concrete cleaning, everything that you can imagine exterior-wise. We don't ceiling, we don't do painting. I mean, strictly exterior cleaning. That we do dabble into some inorganic stuff, but we like to focus on things that we can go in and come out, and go in knowing that we can guarantee our customers exactly what the results are going to be. Meaning, like when someone calls us and saying, "Hey, we have this big stain, we want to get it removed." We don't really like to dabble in too much of that, because most times, even if we set proper expectations, the customers, when they have to spend money and then things doesn't work out the way they're supposed to, like the way they thought it was, that it was going to look like. Sometimes we just don't even like dealing with that. Honestly, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, we might not be the right choice for you. Reason being, because you can't guarantee it's not going to turn out the way you want it to, and I can charge you for it, but it might lighten, it might not. You know what I mean? So I'm sure you guys deal a lot with that as well.
Yeah. So Austin, let me ask you. If I'm opening up in a new location, how much should I charge to pressure wash a house?
That's a good question. I mean, if you're brand new, what we probably would do is just figure out what the market charges for a house. Now, here's the thing. I have different opinions on a lot of the guys that are on YouTube talking about. if you're a brand, like how I teach in my program, if you're a brand new person, you want to dig into this and you just want to go out there and buy a power washer, you don't have any experience, you no reputation. I don't think that person should just go out there and try and nail top of the market pricing right there. I think he should just go out there and learn. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, I just got started. What I'd love to do, I would just love an opportunity to come out there and wash your house. I understand, I don't really have too much, what, maybe we can work out something where I can give you an incredible deal. I'll make sure it's to your satisfaction. And at the end of the day, if I did a good job, I'd love a review. Like, I don't want to be focused so much on the price when they're just getting started. I think they should be focused on the customer, landing the customer that we can get some pictures, a review, some experience. My God, you're going to need, right? And so not just going out there and just trying to ring the cash register. Because I think people that are going out there when they're just getting and trying to ring the cash register all of a sudden, inevitably, because it's pretty competitive, your customers are going to get other bids, and why would they choose you as opposed to someone else who has more experience and more that are more. So you have to give some kind of value proposition to the customer on why they should choose you. And the fact of the matter is, you're just gonna have to be cheaper. You're gonna have to do something to compensate for the fact that you don't know what you're doing. You have no online reputation that I can go back and look up right here.
Yeah. So let me recap what you're saying, and you correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. If you're a new company and you're starting, your playbook is going to be different than a playbook of a company that's been around for 7-8 years. They're running commercials on television. They've got relationships with the Titans, the National Soccer Club. You might need to have a guerrilla. Well, I'm not saying. Hey, but I'll tell you this, Brady, what did you have to do? What did you have to course correct once you stepped into being the guy who sold jobs? The prices.
Oh man. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
And you had to explain why the prices were going up.
Yep. Yeah. 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 100%.
Which means this, in order to start a business, it is helpful to give the value proposition of going low, just so you can get the email address and the relationship. And then over the course of time, you can end up increasing and be a premium product inside of your company.
Austin, do you think that YouTube and what we are literally actively doing at this moment perpetuates that problem of new guys getting into the field and just immediately run into the bank with high prices?
Yes and no. I mean, the fact of the matter is, we live in a time you can get any kind of information out there. I mean, anything that's ever been done on this planet has been written about. It's online. It's on videos. People can access any of that kind of information. So yeah, someone would see a video. Let's say it's me, and I say, yeah, we just did this house wash and we charged $1,000, and that might cause someone to go out there and quite literally try to do the same thing. Part of it is like, I put this content out there for one to hopefully inspire someone, right? Because the main reason I'm on YouTube and I make these videos is because I was inspired by some dude doing it, and I figured, hey, I can make some videos and maybe I can touch someone's heart too, or and hopefully I've done that, right? But yeah, I mean, YouTube. Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, people can go on YouTube and say, hey, this guy did it. Maybe I can do it. But there's a whole lot of other stuff that the D is not considering. 100%. That the dude who's charging that he just has the upper hand, to go up to a new customer and adequately explain your services and how it's going to work when our guys show up there. The whole process to the end. That's something that a guy with experience is going to be able to do. And the new guy is just going to probably walk up to them and just tell them the price. And hopefully it works out that way. It's not going to work out that way,
Yeah. So good. Is that how you started?
What?
Just started by $99 house wash.
Well, funny enough, no, because back then I wasn't really too armed. I didn't know what I know. I mean, no one knows what they know now. Sometimes when they did 5 years ago, 7 years ago, right? So I was only armed with the information I had at the particular time. But no, I got my equipment and I had the video on YouTube. It's like my most viewed video when I'm talking about my first ever power washing job. And a realtor gave me a shot. That was the first thing I knew, because I had my real estate license. And the first thing I did was I sent an email to like 100, 200 different realtors And I got back when realtor sent me to one of their listings to clean it. I looked at it and I said, man, I'm looking at YouTube and similar houses are like this. I'm going to shoot them this price. And that's not what I did on that one. And luckily enough, it worked. It was like $775. And man, I have this whole video out of it. It was a complete nightmare. I had no idea what I was doing. I got there with like equipment that wasn't even what I needed. And I went from the house to the house, back to the truck, going on my truck and pulling up my phone, looking at YouTube videos on how to clean the surface that I was there to clean. Like I had no idea what I was doing. But I think that's the beautiful thing, right? Like, you know, I can go on here and speak to that. And like, man, I do not, that's like, it's terrible. Like that's not how you should go about it. Right. I mean, I think people should go in there and do a lot of free work for your friend and family and really learn what you're doing, because you can run into nightmare scenarios. And anyway, 16 hours later, it turned into be like a 2-day job. And like I was researching how to do it the whole time. And that was the best money I've ever made. Not because it was the most money, but because like that was the money that I looked at that check and I was dog tired. And I was like, dude, I can do this. I just need to learn a lot more, a lot quicker. And I can actually go out there and do it. Right. So, you know, everyone has their nightmare first job. Everyone has their nightmare first job doing really, you know, their first experience, right? In like business or trying to you know, sell or provide a service. That was mine.
Man, that's so good. I feel like you say, you know, hey, you don't know what you know now. No one does. But yes, of course, you wouldn't do that again today. But back then, I feel like there's a little bit of natural selection inside of that, right? Where it's like, hey, that's so funny. You looked on YouTube and found houses that were close to the same value and just shot a number. I think that's freaking awesome. And I resonate with it big time of like, I'm going to just say this and then I'll figure the rest out on the back end. The reality of like doing it by yourself in the beginning is that 775 or 750 is there's so much profit built inside of that like, even if you lose big time, you're still probably somewhat in the green or at least breaking even on the experience.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what you value your time at. I mean, 16 hours and 2 days and buying and renting things I didn't need and buying Home Depot Zep chemicals. I mean, it depends what you know. I mean, I took that as just a knock on the chin there. You know, I was like, that was my first learning experience, and there was you know, the money wasn't even valuable there. As the experience was really, I learned so much from there, shooting things on the house and it not working and having to increase my chemical percentage. And oh, now it's working. Now I learned that. And why is my driveway all striped? Oh, I got to put the same chemical I did on the house on the driveway. I learned so much from that, right? House in like an hour and a half now or 2 hours, right? But hey, you know.
Yeah. Austin, when was the moment that you first realized, dude, I can totally build this into a legitimate business? And it felt like you were printing money, like money started rolling in.
I would say, well, I feel there's two answers there. First part, you asked me, when did I feel like I could literally do this? The day I got that check. I figured out like I could actually offer a service and get for by my own doing and not have to, you know, clock in and clock out per se at a job. But this is totally different because you're clocked in for, so, you know, but that's when I really learned that I could do it. But when I really started to really click, probably 16 months in, my first year was a real struggle. Like most people in this, I mean, it's going to test you. You know, there's a reason why 90% of businesses are there a year from now after they start. It's a struggle. You know, you got to get through all kinds of stuff and make good financial decisions and not spend more money than you have and not all these basic principles. And I kind of, you know, and I ran into a tax problem after my first year by not having a good bookkeeper and accountant. But that's at 16 months in, my Google reviews up and I started really networking with realtors and things started clicking and then referrals started coming in. I mean, most, you know, in a service business like this, really I think unless you get, you know, you just have it like that. I mean, if you do things the right way, 16 months in, a year and a half in, you can start seeing some benefit. You can start reaping the benefits of your labor from previous time, I think.
Hey, I shared this with Brady maybe like 3 or 4 years in, like we're almost at $1 million. And I'm like, I think we're a business. but I don't know. Do you remember that in 16 months, you were like, dude, we're a legitimate business. It takes time for your brain
to know you're in the community for real,
to know that you're in a business.
Yeah.
For the companies, you've got a coaching program and you've got a great following. The guys who quit or give up, usually what's the reason why they end up quitting the pressure washing business?
So I have videos on this in my program, and what I've examined, because I also, I started the Pressure Washing Business Owners Facebook group. It's got like 80,000 members in there, and I've started that 3 years ago. But I see a lot of equipment in there for sale. I see a lot of guys make posts, like emotional posts, that this business isn't for me anymore. This isn't for me anymore. And then I have that people in my program. Some of them just say, "Hey, Austin, I tried it, and it's not for me anymore." And I was like, okay, that's, and I try to get to the bottom of what's going on with these guys. And a lot of the time is they don't make the financial decisions aren't on point, and they're not doing things correctly. Like specifically, over leverage themselves. A lot of people, like they see a video on YouTube, they think you should quit your job, stop working for the people you're working for, go start a business. And they literally do that. There goes my job. There goes, I'm starting my business. And then they get inside of a program, they get inside of a course, and things are not replacing their job income. And then they start freaking out. Right. And so we talk about in my program, you need to do this on the side. You need to offer some free work and just humble yourself for a quick minute, because we're thinking about the longevity of this. This is a 3 to 5 year plan that I promise you, if you just go through this, I will help you, give you the best blueprint. That way you can just be existent in 2 years from now. What people do is they don't have enough money saved up. They quit their job too early. They hope that this works out. They go and finance equipment that's $30,000. And as soon as you run bleach through it, it depreciates literally $50 upside down on equipment that you financed, right? They're not doing the things that they need to be doing. They still have old habits that's not getting them to where they want to go. They're sitting on the couch, eating bad, they're drinking, all these things that are kind of affecting their life. And it's just kind of it just materializes into where you are right now. Right. And so the way I do it is like, look, stay at your job, do this on the side, and don't leave your job until it's costing you more money to be at your job than what your job is paying you. And I'm not talking about just 1 or 2 weekends of good luck with leads. I'm talking about 3 to 4 months of consistent missed opportunities, of which if you would have took advantage of those opportunities, you would have made a bit more than what that job is paying you. Then at that point,
so good,
you have my blessing to at least cut your hours in half if that job will allow you to. If not, then okay. Then you might have my blessing on that one. But that's what people are doing. They think that the money's just out there, and it is because they watch a video, but we need to be smarter with our money and our choices.
Wow. The delayed gratification it takes to go 3 or 4 months of missed opportunities. You get the right rash person in there, like you said, 2 weekends in a row. It's like, oh, I got so much, I'm going. And then August just knocks.
Well, yeah, because we're a seasonal business. I mean, for a new guy, at least it's seasonal, because when you're like yourselves or us, we're
oh man, we feel it, brother. It gets cold, man.
But at least we have stuff on the books for next month, like with reoccurring. Like I know you guys have like Top Golf and stuff. Like we have like the airport and some similar treks too. At least we're going in there. We know that if worst comes to worst, we have this much on the books, right? As opposed to a new guy that doesn't have that. That's going to be
definitely hurts less, no doubt about that.
Hurts a lot less. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Austin, I want an unfiltered, and not that you're filtering your responses, but I want you to get into the emotions. When you transition from a pressure washing customer to a customer that you're trying to help grow a pressure washing company, they have different frustrations. And so if we clean a customer's home and we end up killing their tree that they end up absolutely flipping their lid over, it's a big deal, and you've got to work it through with them. Now, I want you to think about your experiences on the Facebook. Man, you've got a massive Facebook channel, and you've got people that you've coached. Have you ever had a customer from your Facebook or from a coaching student that blamed you for the lack of their success? Is that you just say yes or a no?
Never.
You've never had someone blame you?
Well, I mean, that's so, just because it's just like with anything, just because you buy a course doesn't mean that's going to be successful. Just because you go and you go get a college degree that costs you $250,000, that college isn't responsible for you to go out there and make that money back. And if they were, I don't think I don't think they'd be in business, because I think a majority of people that go to college and get a degree, they either end up not using that degree or,
Sure.
That's a different conversation. But I mean, no, that's just it. Otherwise, the whole college thing would flip upside down.
Yeah, you're right. For some reason, I carry this mindset or burden that I want whoever is inside of our network to succeed. And
that's a different statement.
Yeah,
I of course want
mindset.
that.
So what was the question I should have asked? So have you ever seen someone not succeed and you gave them coaching, but they didn't do what you told them to do?
I think what he's trying to ask you really is like, if you've got someone in the network that's just, maybe they don't think exactly like you and they're just not getting it. How do you,
I want your
I'm like,
filtered.
How do you layer? Cause we've got guys in our network, but like, how do you sleep at night without thinking about them not nailing it?
Not necessarily. Let me reshape it. Let me reshape it. Do you ever get frustrated at the lack of follow through with the folks that you want to see succeed? So like, I want our network folks to succeed. When they don't, it's not because I didn't tell them what they must do. It's because they didn't do what we're telling them to do. Have you ever felt that emotion?
Yes. But am I surprised? No, because we're dealing with human beings, and there's plenty of things that, that people aren't going to come through on a lot of things. And it's not just as simple as, hey, I gave you this material, go out and do it. I'm not even saying they should do my material. What I hope that I've done is I'm teaching you how I did it, not how to do it. But if you want to buy my program, this is how I did it. I hope you can take advantage of it. But at the end of the day, it's not just as simple as that. There's a whole lot of other things that are going on at home, in their personal world, and their finances, and maybe in their own head, and their body and everything that, for some reason they just can't get there as easy as maybe I was able to get there, or how you guys were able to get there. So I hold that against anybody in a frustrating way. I care for them, and I want to love on them, and I talk to them all the time, and we're there every week when they need me and stuff. But at the end of the day, I mean, these are people. And maybe it's just not in God's will for them to do what they purchased my course for.
So I'm going to expound on that question just a little bit. How some people are born naturally with other giftings, qualities, or traits than other human beings' giftings, qualities, and traits. Were you naturally like that when you started that program, or did you have to build on that? Because I do feel like I just mentally sometimes can't release it. Was it naturally there for you? Did you have to get somewhere to get to that mindset?
Naturally, did I have what naturally?
Did you naturally just say, hey, I'm dealing with human? Because that was like a great response. You're dealing with human beings. At the end of the day, dealing with human beings, you can lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink. Were you just there from the get-go?
Did I have that mindset from the get-go? Like, did I walk in here thinking that I was going to change everyone's life? No, I mean, I still knew the statistics, and I knew the success rate of just human success, I guess, of business success. And the numbers are what they are. But I kind of use that as just ask myself, okay, Austin, why are most people failing? Well, I look at my data on my pressure washing group, and I ask questions, and even before the program, a lot of free calls with everybody. And I talked to them. I was like, oh, wow, you're really over leveraged. You're spending money on things that you can't afford. And even worse, you're in the negatives. Like, you're going in credit. Like, you cannot make these decisions. And why'd you leave your job last month? And then I okay, that's a majority of what I'm seeing. So I put that in the program. Right. And so that'll hopefully mitigate that. But it's still, I mean, you still have to actually do it. That's just I'm fulfilling my portion on what I think most people are failing in this. And I put that out there, and that's just, I get information from the data and from the phone calls over many years. But people still have to do that, because like you said, you mentioned delayed gratification. I mean, people just want to not work for who they're working for, and they want to go out there and do this thing. Now, there's been plenty of people out there that are wildly successful, have YOLO'd everything and put their life on the line, and they went door to door and they turned into a killer, and then all of a sudden they're like this multi-million-dollar dude, right? Fact of the matter is just like, we're, you know, generally speaking, most humans, I'm trying to give a plan that will work for most human beings, not the ultra elite, you know, because I might like the advice of going out there and just saying, I'm going to go out there and make this business work. And I'm going to focus everything on here. And I'm going to leave my job because, you know, that might work for me, but it might not work for somebody else, or it might not work for me. And I might like this plan better, you know?
Hey, I want to thank you for taking time to listen to our podcast. We're going to break from the show for a second, and I've just got a simple question for you. Are you looking to start a pressure washing company? If so, I want to invite you to a free webinar that we do for anyone that's wanting to know everything they need to know before making a decision in starting a pressure washing company.
Yeah, sometimes thinking about jumping out on your own, you get analysis paralysis, and this free webinar will really help you with that. And there's no strings attached. It's totally free. All you've got to do is visit pressurewashingpastor.com, click start here, fill out the paperwork, and we'll take care of the rest.
Yeah, I hope to see you in the future. Now back to your show. Austin, what are you excited about in the next, as it relates to business? You know, there's other things outside of business, but as you're looking out for the next 12, 24, 48 months, what are you most excited about that's on the horizon for you and your business?
We're talking about power washing business, to be exact, because there's two different. You mentioned earlier, I have my YouTube channel, which I would say I get my fulfillment from there. That's what I'm really excited about. I wake up, because you mentioned earlier about a passion and stuff. I wake up every morning passionate about my YouTube channel and my coaching. But if you're asking me about my power washing business, what am I excited about in the next 2 or 3 years? Just seeing, I want to just continue to dominate this market, hopefully expand into another market. You know, Christian, my partner, Christian, he's a bit older, with kids, and this isn't something that he wants to do long term. And this isn't something that, as far as the pressure washing business, it's not something I really want to do long term. What I'm really sold on, what gives me fulfillment, is my channel and helping young people who were in my 19, 20, 21. That college wasn't a thing, and all their friends are passing them in every aspect of life. I want to help that person, right? And so hopefully, I can kind of get to a point where I can service business. I've done everything I can do in that realm, and I can focus solely on just making videos that helps people in this age range. And hopefully I can make a living doing that, continue to do coaching, and work with people in the service business, because that's kind of my niche too.
Yeah,
or maybe be a part of another service business. I don't know. Maybe I'll come down there to Browns.
Come on, son. You welcome.
I would almost rather have a conversation that we transition. Anyway, I got thoughts. When I hear you speak, I hear the thing that brings you the most joy is serving other people through YouTube. And if you are considering growing, scaling a pressure washing business and haven't checked out Austin Davis's YouTube channel, do yourself a favor and start tuning in. I don't know if there's another YouTuber that does as good of a job following up with the questions. I've chatted with you off this video camera, and you literally read through every comment. You respond. You are a friend to anybody who jumps in, and you're not using them. You're serving them, which is what, to me, is really your superpower, is to take over that YouTube content creation and see streams of revenue come in that way.
And you may not be questioning this, but if you are, I wanted to affirm you. I think out of all the other YouTubers, your character and authenticity comes through on the camera. And I think about that when I'm filming my own videos. And so it's affirmation to hear that yours does. It does.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. that.
So if any of our listeners wanted to get in touch with you, join your coaching or video courses, where can they find out more information about you?
So about the courses, you can go to sixfigurepressure.com. About me, of course, you can go on YouTube and look up, Austin Davis. You'll be able to find me, or Austin Davis Pressure Washing. You'll come across my profile. All the links are in there. But if you want to contact me directly, Instagram, Austin_Davis23, you can shoot me a DM there. I'm pretty decent about getting to those. So yeah, those are my channels right there.
Austin, I'm going to give you final words. Is there any questions that you wish we would have asked you that we didn't before we end up landing the plane?
Any questions? I mean, it wouldn't be in my. Any questions that I wish y'all would have asked? Some good questions, and I really appreciate y'all having me on. It wouldn't, there's nothing I could say there's nothing I can say about you guys that I would change as far as questions go. Y'all asked some really great questions and challenged me too. Y'all made me think about some stuff. So I always like that. It's good.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Austin, I consider you a friendship. I desire to have a long-term friendship. We here at Browns appreciate what you're doing and offering. And we want to align ourselves with people who are trying to give more than they're trying to receive. And your character definitely demonstrates that type of individual. So thank you for what you're doing on YouTube and helping guys get past their problems when they didn't maybe crush it inside of school or start a career that they were like, man, I just want to do this. But you're like, okay, let me help you succeed inside this pressure washing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we will see you in the future. And until next time, peace.
Peace out, guys. Thanks for having me.